Hello and welcome back to the Jolly Ranchers YouTube channel. I am a solo developer making a video game called Kid Detective, which is gonna be probably the best murder mystery game ever made. I'm just here to say it now. This week we are going to finish the inventory system for a game like Monkey Island. If I have coded your Monkey Island style point and click adventure over the past few months and you appreciate it and you're here now after all of this inventory coding, then please, if you appreciate what we're doing on this channel, go on Steam and wishlist Kid Detective and you'll be notified as soon as it comes out or as soon as a demo comes out, and it'll be really fun. So without further ado, let's code the inventory. So let's go to our player, let's click on the target script, and down here in our exit dialog and our enter dialog methods, we are going to want to set the verb back to walk whenever we exit dialog. We're going to want to update the verb text box to reflect that, and we are going to want to turn the game object, the verb game object, the text box, back on so that we can see it again. Same thing with our enter dialog method, but reversed. So we want to, when we enter dialog, we want to set the action to walk, because when we're using an item and we click on a clickable, we want to go back to walk afterwards. We don't want to be stuck using an inventory item for the entire game and not getting to walk to things or having dialogue with things. And we want to update the verb text box with no clickable in it, and we want to set the verb text box to false so that when we're in dialogue, there is no text box. There's not two text boxes there. And we don't have a verb reference in our player script yet. So up here in the target variables, I'm going to add a verb variable, and I'm going to name it verb. And in the start method, verb equals find object of type verb. And I'll go ahead and I'll save that. Over here in our object clicked script, which is where we enter dialogue, down here in the do execute block method, which we've been to multiple times, I am going to write verb.gameObject.setActive to false as well. And we're going to need a reference to our verb script once again, so we're going to do the same thing we just did in the target script. I'm going to add a private verb variable and name it verb, and in my start method, verb equals find object of type verb. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Once again, you could call the enter dialog function on the target script. You could say target.enterDialog here instead of both of these things and this line. You could delete all of those and replace it with just that method. And that's why methods are good, because they prevent things from getting long as this. I'm going to go ahead and just test that out. I'm going to set the alpha of my inventory back to 0 so that everything works as it should with toggling the inventory on and off, toggling the canvas group. As you can see, I put the names on my clickable objects: walk to desk, walk to door, walk to chair, walk to chair, walk to door. That's all of them that I have so far. You can see it's from that clickable name that we added earlier to our clickable 2D script. There should be a field here on all of your clickables, and you should be able to put in whatever string you want. And that's what appears here in game. As you can see, I also changed the hover cursor for this one thing to demonstrate it. If you want, you can do that for all of your objects. And then when we open the inventory and click on this, use Book of Souls, you can see I have 2 spaces here accidentally, and that's because there are 2 spaces after this. My bad. Use Book of Souls with Book of Souls. If I click on that, it goes to the fail block and says this is nothing. If I click on the Book of Souls and I close the inventory, I can use Book of Souls with door, with chair, with desk, with chair, and with door. Right now, I don't think that is going to do anything, but let's see. Yeah, it doesn't do anything right now because those inventory items aren't set up in the flowchart to interact with any of our clickable objects. If we go to our clickable flowchart, with any of our 5 clickable objects. So we can get that to work. As you can see, it's registering what verb we have now. If I go to our inventory and I click Book of Souls, then if I go up here and refresh the flowchart, it says use. So our flowchart knows what we're doing, which is great. And our items flowchart should know, wow, that my current item is Book of Souls. That's amazing. And if I use Book of Souls with Book of Souls, will it switch back? No, it still remembers our old current item, but that's not going to matter because if our verb isn't use at the time, then we want to know 2 things whenever we're triggering an interaction with an item. Is our verb use, and what is our current item? If we don't have both of those things, then whenever we just walk to something, we'll have normal dialogue. We won't pay attention to the current item. So, first things first, let's look at creating this custom command to add and remove items from the inventory. And let's do it on one of our clickable objects. So let's go out of play mode. On this chair, we want the dialogue to be, oh, look, a ticket. And then we want to add an item to the inventory. We want to add the ticket item to the inventory because item owned is currently false. Go in your project folder to your Fungus folder. We're going to go to scripts and commands. And here is the list of all of the commands that Fungus currently comes with. So it's fairly easy to create a custom command because you have all of these examples of custom commands. It's pretty amazing. So what I did to make this custom command is I went to this play anim state command and I double clicked on it to open it up. And it showed me its insides. And then I went back here and I right clicked. I created a new C# script. But I've already done this, so let me go ahead and click on the script that I made. Here you can see it is not using these 2 namespaces, so I'm going to go delete those, and we're just using Unity Engine. And this script starts differently than usual. You know when we say using Fungus up here? This is how you add something to a namespace. So type in namespace and Fungus, and then brackets. If you copy and paste in the play anim state command, it will already have this. And here you can put some helpful info for you. As you can see in command info, you can type in the category that your command is under. So I created a new category called item for our item commands. The command name, which mine is change item. And then you can type in some help text. And you can also change the priority number of your command so that it appears higher or lower on the list. In fact, if you click on a block, if you press plus, you can see I have an item category here, and the change item method is in here. So that's what that command info stuff does. And the add component menu attribute allows you to place a script anywhere in the component menu instead of just the components scripts menu. Cool. So add that. Then public class change item, and instead of a mono behavior or a scriptable object, this is a command. And this is available because we're inside the Fungus namespace. Otherwise, if you try to type this in without being inside the Fungus namespace like this, it will not recognize what a command is. So here, I left a helpful tooltip so that people know what this does. But basically, you drag in whatever inventory item that you want to use, whatever inventory item you want to add or remove, and then I have a Boolean here that I called add. If it's true, you'll add this inventory item to your inventory, and if it's false, you'll remove the inventory item from the inventory. So this command does both of those things. And then very simply, this public override void on enter. This onEnter method is what happens when you call the command. So if there's no item, if the item is equal to null, then we will not change the item, and we will merely continue on with the commands in the block, in the flowchart. But if item is not equal to null, then if add is true, then item.itemowned equals true. Else, item.itemowned equals false. And then we call the continue method so that the next commands start in the block. The commands continue to flow in the flowchart. And then this get summary method will tell you if you haven't put an item into the command, if you haven't dragged an item into your Fungus command, then it will say error, no item selected. If there is an item in it, then it will show you what item that you have dragged into this command, what item you are adding or removing. So this is just a helpful place where you can add some helpful information that you can quickly at a glance see in your flowchart. Oh, here I added this item or I removed this item. So now we have a new command to add items. I'm going to go up here to item and change item. And now when we say, oh, look, a ticket, you see it says error, no item selected. So let's go drag in our inventory item. You could either click the circle up here and it would pull up a list of the items that you have already made, or you can drag in your item from your items folder. And I'm going to click add because I want to add the ticket and not remove it. And to just finish off this example, I'm going to show you what happens when you combine items. I remove the two items that you combine, and I add the item that I want them to combine to. Now, you could make the combine items method so that you don't have to remove the two items from the inventory, but it might be, and this is why I didn't add that functionality directly into the combine items method. It might be that when you combine items, you don't want to remove the two items. Say you added a drop of poison into a goblet. You wouldn't want to destroy the poison item because you only added a drop, but you would want to add the item poisoned goblet to your inventory. So this just gives you more flexibility, but also means you have to be more vigilant whenever you're combining items. So let's go see this in action. I'm going to go ahead and just add the keys to my inventory because I don't know where you get them yet. Lol. Obviously, you would want to move this text box to where it's more visible, but this is a demonstration. When I walk to the chair, oh look, a ticket. If I check my inventory right now, there's no ticket in it. But if I click now, wowzers, there's a ticket. And now if I click on the ticket, use ticket with ticket, nah. Use ticket with keys, heck yeah. I stuck the key into the ticket. Now this is something. And if we look back at our inventory, there's no key, there's no ticket, but there is a key ticket. Now, how do we use items on clickable objects? Let's do an example. Back to our clickable flowchart. Let's say I needed a key ticket, which I have no idea what a key ticket is. You should comment below what a key ticket is narratively, and let's build the lore of this Monkey Island game. But if you need a key ticket to, let's say, this desk says, a note, take a seat, please have your ticket in hand. Maybe we use the key ticket on the desk. So the way we would do that is if we would go to our flow commands and we need an if statement. Because if we click on the desk and our verb equals walk, and you want to type in exactly what your verbs are. In fact, to avoid yourself the trouble of misspelling your verbs all the time, you could create new string variables for each verb you have and have those string variables hold the exact correct string with the exact correct spelling of your different verbs. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a walk and a use string. As you can see, I already almost typoed that. What's a little bit dangerous about string comparison and why people tell you not to compare strings, but I haven't found another solution than to compare strings, unfortunately, for all of us. But it hasn't messed me up very badly, so we'll see. If it does, I'll let you know. Okay, so if your verb is walk, then you want to do the normal dialogue, but else if or you could just use an else command, but this is if you have multiple verbs, if you use more verbs than me. Else if verb equals use, I'm going to go ahead and throw an end command in here because we're going to want to call our exit block after dialogue no matter what. So I want to always have this exit block outside of this if statement. I'm going to go ahead and copy some dialogue into here, and I'm going to say we're going to need another if statement inside this else if statement. This is where we're going to check to see if we already know you're using an item, but what inventory item? That's what we want to know. So right now we can't access our current item variable on our items flowchart, and that's because it's private. So I'm going to go ahead and make that public so that we can access our current item variable. And now you can see because it's public, I can access it. So I'm going to say if current item equals, and you could do the same thing. You could type in every item name in your items flowchart so that you never misspell them in the same way that I did with all of the verbs. But because I already showed you how to do that, I'm not going to show you how again. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in the name of the item, which is key ticket. And I'm going to type some congratulations text. Congratulations. You put the key in the ticket. I'll duplicate this and say heaven awaits. Make sure I drag that below the other one. And then I'm going to fade the screen to white. Just a quick example of why we're integrating this Monkey Island game into Fungus, because Fungus is so easy to make cutscenes with different animation commands and stuff like that happen. And if you watch my other videos, my complete Fungus tutorial for beginners, which will continue after this series, then you'll know how to do any sort of cutscene you want using this Monkey Island base that we've made. So if we go in here, and I'll just do the wrong item first, and I will use the Book of Souls with the desk, nothing happens, which I think is good. As you can see, I can't use items with clickables while I have the inventory open, but if I use the key ticket with the desk, then nothing happens. Now let's see why, and it's probably because I got the string variable wrong, because I was being lazy, and the actual item name is key space ticket. Let this be a warning to you if you're using this system. Name your scriptable object the exact same thing as your item name. I think that will be the most useful for you, or make a list of your items as variables. And as you can see, when I use the key ticket on the desk and I have typed in the correct item name string for the item that I want, then voila, we've beaten the game. What a good game this was that we made. Okay, that is all of the tools that you should need to have a Monkey Island style inventory. Please let me know if there are more. We are going to move on to something like main menu and save features next time. Okay, it's been a whole lot of video, and if I explained things too much or I went too slow, I've been thinking that I should make a faster, more concise inventory video sometime in the future, or collaborate with Fungus and make a inventory package that could come with Fungus or something like that. Anyhow, if you liked this video and if you like this series, please subscribe to keep up to date with the series, and leave a comment on what else you need for your Monkey Island style game. I have a series about the complete Fungus tutorial for beginners, and I have not yet covered saving or loading different scenes. And obviously those two things are fairly necessary for a video game unless you just have a one scene sized game. So I will be covering saving and loading scenes and things like that. If you want them to have to do with this game that we've already created, I'm pretty sure it will apply no matter what. But saving scriptable objects is a bit different from saving a fungus variable and will need a separate save system like the one that I have in my game. So just let me know. Please leave a like, please comment, share this channel if you've really enjoyed it with friends, because that means a lot to me. I put in a lot of effort, and so does Zach, the editor, who does this for free, as do I. But I just really appreciate him. Everybody give it up for Zach. And I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and love you.